Oh, is there something weird about me? Oh. There we go. Hi, I'm Beetle, and today I'm gonna try to redraw something. This, Beastars and Kimetsu no Yaiba, and I hope I can do well because this is Microsoft Paint. And I'm starting off with Beastars. First, we're gonna do the sketch. This part is actually really important for this because I'm gonna try to change things up a bit. You see, the thing I'm trying to do is accentuate the actual proportions of the character and the way the character is looking at you. Well, not the pose, basically. And maybe it's not noticeable yet, but I'm really trying to make some sharp angles in the outlines so that it can look really street-like. There's something really special about the way this manga artist draws the characters, and I really like that. It's basically their line work is very messy sometimes, but I appreciate that. I am pretty messy myself, so I really like that style, and I think I took advantage of that by making this character look this way. So now that we're in the line work, I think it's really a great time to mention that I really emphasize the upper area with some thick lines, and then as we go down it gets slimmer and slimmer, but that I think helps the shape of the character look a little bit more in tune with how the body looks. I also really like this part because I really emphasized how the hair and all the fur looks on its body. Talking about Beastars, I think 3D anime is getting to a pretty good standard now, but I gotta say, I would have liked to see the animation be like the Mob Psycho animation, which is pretty messy all around and I think fits the style really well. And when I say messy, I only mean it in the best way I can. Going back to the drawing, now comes one of my favorite parts whenever I'm doing something like this, and that is erasing the sketch. It is actually pretty fun. I think the way you kinda reveal the art even though it was there looks pretty good, and I like that. Then it comes to coloring. When it comes to coloring, I feel it is important to decide what color you want. I think here I decide for a deep, kinda dark blue that I feel fits in the art that I'm doing. Usually I pick between 3 colors. What happens is that I want a base color, a highlight color, and then a darker color. But if we're looking at the original image, you can see it's actually kinda like watercolors. So what happens is there's a lot of more mixture of colors, and then I was really not sure if I wanted to do more colors or not, but I decided to go with more colors. I mean, what could go wrong, right? Well, I didn't sleep. That's what went wrong. But on the other hand, I think it gave a really nice result. I had so many colors that I had to work with that I really took advantage of that by making really angular spots coincide with each other, so that way it's like a puzzle. It's like a really fun, colorful puzzle. Also, something to note, I wasn't color picking the original image because I want to do my own colors. I want to choose and see what fits with the image I'm doing. I think I'm doing a more radical take on the colors, so that way I feel I have more saturated tones, which is kinda dangerous. I mean, it's advised not to do something so saturated, but this time I think it makes it look pretty cool, pretty radical. I skate between the danger zone of saturated tones. That's what I do. Now I'm just making some finishing touches before I go into the letters. As you see, the letters, I go with a rougher style. Get it? Rough? I mean, he's not a dog, but it's a wolf, so it's similar. Okay, I'll shut up. Something I wanted to do was to give this whole image a sense of graffiti. Something I really like is graffiti art and street art, so I made this to look in that way. Obviously, it's a more... Finally, we're just making a nice frame, and here it is, my Beastars manga cover redraw. Now we start with Kimetsu no Yaiba. In this drawing, I felt that I wanted to push the proportions a lot more than I actually ended up doing. As you see with the hand, I made it look so... I felt it a little bit more on the front, and with the angle that it had, it could showcase the foreshortening a lot better, but then I ended up going pretty mild on the rest of the drawing. I kinda regret that, but I had a pretty hard time while doing the proportions of the head to look just right, since I'm actually doing different angles in this picture. So changes, I feel the expressions are really important both in the original art and in mine, so I tried to make a good job out of making the expressions. I actually have a really tough time doing the noses and the eyes because I don't have a sense of style yet, but I'm looking forward to developing one. And I have something to say. Usually sketches shouldn't be this detailed, I feel, but since I really wanted to make a good job and a good impression, I, well, took a long time doing the perfect sketch. Now let's talk about Kimetsu no Yaiba. First of all, I just want to say the animation is lovely, so I had to do this one. It's one of the most popular anime at this point, and I think it was a pretty good choice. What I ended up doing was trying to also do the foreshortening and the proportions differently, but I actually didn't quite achieve that in this one, but I still really like the end product. So as you can see, I'm really trying to push like the hand outside and the sword, make it look so that the angle in which you're looking at it looks a little bit bent. But in the heads, I had a lot of trouble. I spent a lot of time doing the sketch because it was also 2 people instead of 1, and that kinda took a lot of time from me. I also didn't sleep during this one, but I think I had a lot of fun with the hair. The hair is really pointy and angular, so I could do a lot of shapes that had that pointy angular feel. Something that I made totally different than the Beastars manga cover was the lines. What I did with the lines was to keep them a lot more simpler and to actually keep them kinda clean. And I think that helps to keep the feeling that the manga cover originally has. Now with the colors, I decided I wanted to do more of what I usually do, and that is to start filling this up with the base colors. So I'm doing pretty normal colors, just green, blue, the red tints and all of that to have my drawing completely filled up. And then I'm gonna start doing more of the layers. I'm actually covering a lot more space than the manga actually does, so I kind of fill things up with my imagination, and that is kind of fun, but it's also a challenge. At this point, I'm just doing whatever is necessary to get to the point where I can start to work more with colors. That way I can have a lot more fun than just filling all of this up and checking out the details and all of that. When I start doing the highlights, I think that's when the artwork actually shines. But for real, doing the highlights and doing the shadows really brings life to the drawing. This time I'm actually doing it how I said I usually do it when I pick 3 colors. That is light color, the base color and the darker color. So you can see this throughout all of these shading and highlighting process. I really made a big effort during all of this process, and I was almost about not to highlight the hair, but I thought it would look really cool if I did that. You know, the other parts do have that, so I felt it was necessary to do it too. Now it's almost done, but I still had to do a few more things. I had some tricks up my sleeve, but some of them ended up not working at all, so I had to actually work over them instead of doing that little trick. That little trick consists on copy and pasting that same drawing you did so that certain area can be transparent and you don't have to lose any progress that you made. After doing almost everything, I just had to do the background. The background was pretty simple, but I actually lost the file where I was doing the... Well, I didn't lose it. I actually didn't just hit record, so I didn't record myself doing the lettering. But here is the final product. You can see the drawing and then you can see the manga cover. I hope you enjoyed this, and leave a like and subscribe, and I'm coming up with more videos soon. Please check them out, and thank you.